Been sitting here watching Harley Quinn on Sci-Fi.
Sci-fi.
I guess they put it on Sci-Fi now. It's usually on DC, but I don't have the DC app, so I've been watching it. Holy shit, this show is hilarious. It is freaking hilarious.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, to a fun, exciting, not so much. We're going to talk about the State of the Union, aka what's going on in Comic-Con world and what states are open, what states are closed. And if you are a Comic-Con owner or comic book promoter, manager, somewhat, or staff, please feel free to message one of us and we'll give you a link and you can jump on this little bandwagon and panel as it goes on. You know, with me today is Michael Bergy. You manage and runs and helps Altered Reality, which runs about 3 or 4 conventions within the East Coast and 1 show on the West Coast, if that's correct.
That is correct, yep.
Yeah, see? Fun.
You know your stuff.
I do my very, very best to do that stuff. Anyway, how are you doing tonight? How are you holding up?
I'm holding, man. You know, it's different now.
It's very different with states opening, closing, opening. You know.
Yep.
That's what we just had.
Florida just reopened and the beaches were packed, and now they closed the beaches because everyone went to the beaches. Yeah, I guess Naples or something closed all their beaches because, you know, everyone flocked to the beaches because you opened them. Where'd you think everyone was going to go? They've been stuck in a house for 2 months.
That's even more crazy. Well, gotta love Florida, but Florida had the best week of all. What do we have? We have WWE in Florida. We have AEW. WWE going out of Orlando studios or somewhere outside Orlando. AEW is right out of Tampa, right? Tampa. And UFC just came out of Jacksonville doing their little ESPN Plus pay-per-view, we'll say. UFC 249.
I missed it last night, but I caught some of the highlights on ESPN. I wish I could have watched it live. But man, you don't have the crowd there hearing everything. You hear every punch, every kick. Whew. It's vicious. It was pretty vicious listening to that on ESPN. ESPN was sitting there showing a couple of them, and you watch.
I like the idea of like. I still like the no crowd. I still like some crowd, but it is what it is. It's the new norm.
I think having no crowds though for a sport though kind of does seem a little bit weird as you're watching a sporting event. And there's no one there to cheer you on. You can't really get into the flow of it, I guess. It just feels like you're doing a pickup game outside somewhere, you know?
But here's the new. The new is going to be the when NFL and NHL and NBA come back, they have no crowds.
Yeah. I don't think NHL is going to come back. That's the one I don't think is going to come back right now. No one's really going nuts for NHL to play, which is weird because they do have a lot of fans, but you don't see them mentioning it on ESPN, any of the sports channels, anything like that. What are they talking about? NBA, MLB, football. That's what they're talking about, and college sports. And tragically, I hate to say it, but NHL doesn't get the love like some of the other sports do. And
they should.
Yeah, they should. It's still a very popular sport, just not here in America as much as it is like in Canada, overseas in Europe and stuff like that. It's here. It's like the 3rd or 4th best sport.
Indeed. Indeed. But we all know that once playoffs start and everyone starts growing their beard, it becomes like the summer beard. The start of the summer beard.
Yep. No shave, playoffs. That's Joe Ribbs' favorite thing.
Oh, yeah.
He should be baby-faced right now because the Bruins aren't playing.
Well, he's celebrating Mother's Day for himself, you know?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Happy Mother's Day to all the single fathers out there.
Yeah, right?
Sorry, happy Mother's Day to you.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there and, out there. Hope you guys got a good gift from your kids or your family or, hopefully you didn't have to cook dinner today and the husband or boyfriend did.
Well, you did see that ESPN also announced that they're going to have games that's starting at 2 a.m. coming from Korea.
Yeah, for baseball. Yep.
And did you see the guideline? Did you see their crazy guideline?
No.
So if one player gets the virus, they cancel the season. So they are guaranteeing a full season.
Wow.
Yeah. So 2 a.m.
So the Chinese Baseball League is basically saying one person gets it, they're done.
Yeah, one person gets it, they're done.
Wow. Man, I pray to God no one gets it over there. Holy crap.
Well, if that's the case, I wonder how all the other sports clubs are going to handle it. How are the other sports clubs going to deal with it? If someone gets it, are they immediately put on the injured list, or are they done for the rest of the season? Like, we don't know how NFL. We don't even know how NFL or let alone basketball has to deal with it.
Well, NBA has been talking about where they want to do it, where they want to sequester teams and put them in like a certain, you stay at a certain hotel and a certain stadium, and that's where you play, and that's it. And it's like 5 or 6 teams, and those teams all play each other, kind of like round robin in a way, like we would back in like the day in high schools and stuff. And then if a team, somebody gets tested and they fail it, that team is eliminated. Like they're taken off the board. Like you're going. It's almost like a, Royal Rumble last man standing match. You got somebody, you're done.
You're gone. You're gone. That's it. The end.
That would suck. If you're the number 1 seeded, basketball team, and all of a sudden your best player gets it, and you're like, you're done for the year. That's it.
Well, look at basketball, and no one knows that the actual rule is if there's no season after a certain point, the team with the best record wins the title.
So that would technically be the Bucks, isn't it?
The Lakers.
The Lakers have the best record over the Bucks.
I believe so. Someone can double check, or if anyone, I'm going to check right now on NBA.com to see who actually has the best.
I'm pretty sure record. The Bucks have the best record. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are like 55 and like 8 or something. Like they have a ridiculous winning streak, or did.
Well, Bucks are 53 and 12.
Okay.
So where the hell's the West Coast? And then Lakers are 49 and 14.
So right now you give it to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, you right now give it to the Bucks. And I think the thing is that the Lakers put in a bid saying, no, we want to continue the season because I feel like they want to win something. Granted, it is the strange year. I feel like they want to win the title. Somehow win the title.
How long do they have Anthony Davis for? Is it only like they re-signed him for a couple of years?
2 seasons?
2 seasons?
2 seasons, I believe.
Good shot to win.
Someone can chime in to say how long they have Anthony Davis for.
Good shot to win 2 championships back-to-back with Anthony Davis. It would actually be a pretty good thing for him.
But I want to see how they, like, for sports standards, I actually want to see how well they actually are in a playoff atmosphere, because we've seen the Lakers lose to the worst team in the league, and let alone around and then with above 500 teams, they have a very difficult time, which win by 1 or 2 points.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see how the other teams adjust. Meanwhile, if anyone's sports and if you watched anything, if anyone's watched the Michael Jordan series and the Chicago Bulls, you can actually watch and defeat LeBron James just by his strategy and just by taking him off the game. LeBron James is not the best player in the team, but if you give LeBron James the ball the whole entire game, you will win the playoffs. You will beat the Lakers. Give the ball to LeBron, because by after the third quarter, because he can't put up 50 points and not be gassed.
No. The Lakers need, Kuzma to have a good playoffs. They need Anthony Davis to go off, Rondo to go off, and then you have, if them 3 don't perform, they're not winning anything.
Yeah,
LeBron might win them a game or 2, no doubt, because of the player he is. But no, I'm sorry. He's not the best player on that team. That's Anthony Davis, I think, personally. And if we're going best player in the league right now, that's Giannis.
Yeah.
The freak is just, oh my God, that dude is a beast. Crazy.
Give him the next 7 to 8 years, he's going to be on top.
Oh yeah, I think he's right now there. The dude can score 30, grab 12, 15 rebounds. You know, the only thing he doesn't do is
and with the number one seed in the East, and why wouldn't you stay?
Yeah.
Like, you know, they built a team around you right behind, and look, here's Raptors being number 2 without having Leonard for the next season.
Yeah.
And Celtics who are not stacked at all, who don't have an all-star, and Boston being number 3 proves again this is great coaching. Not just having a great player, this is great coaching.
You got rid of Kyrie, and you, I think, improved the team overall.
Right.
Tatum's playing a lot better.
Well, with Kyrie Irving being on the Boston Celtics helped them a little bit, but they were there before him. You could just have sat him on the bench, and he could have been a player coach the whole time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I agree. I think Kyrie wanted out because he wanted to go play with his face there, Kevin Durant, and now that Jersey team is basically everyone sitting on the bench right now, injured for the whole season.
I mean Jersey team, you mean Brooklyn team. There's no Jersey team.
Brooklyn. Sorry, I know. The New Jersey Nets. You know.
Funny thing is that I got to see Jason Kidd as a Net face against LeBron James on the Cavs at a playoff game many years ago.
Dude, I was a huge Jason Kidd fan back in the day, man. I absolutely loved that dude. Like,
except when he turned on the Knicks.
Yeah.
Until he turned on the Knicks, we're going, oh, you mother, get the fuck out of town. All right, back to the state of Comic-Cons and the chaos that is going on. I know you have I would say the New England territory, which is Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts area, which you know more than anything else. Yeah. Massachusetts has recently just said that they're closed until Labor Day. How do you feel about this? Because this hurts even a convention like you now with being so close to November.
It's definitely going to put a damper on a lot of stuff. Because, I mean, Boston being closed, it affects the city of Boston a lot. Overall, it affects their money. It affects the business, the tourism, everything that's coming in there. I mean, it definitely is going to affect us too, because now you have vendors, you got celebs, who's going to be looking to do what shows now? Are there shows still coming up? And they're going to be looking at what's going to happen with crowds. What is the CDC going to allow? What is the city going to allow? What are they going to allow us to have for, capacity of buildings if and when there are shows? Mm-hmm. I think we might still see a couple of shows. I just don't think you're going to see the monsters that we've seen in the past. You're not going to see like a New York Comic Con. You're not going to see a San Diego Comic Con. You're not going to see a Rhode Island like 100,000 plus people.
I think at the old hotel that literally will have a line around the building saying first come, first serve, and that's it. If you step out of the building, you have to go back around, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think you're going to temper. I think people need to temper down their expectations of what we're going to see as a normal convention scene.
Right.
Probably for the next year, maybe 2. I want to say.
I believe you had a bit of an issue. You were part of another group chat, and then someone had said, F all the conventions. When I mention names, someone had said in the chat, like, F the convention, this is just close regardless. But people forget that, guys like us, guys like the vendors and the guys like the vendors and the artists, we spend hundreds of dollars to be part of a show. Now, meanwhile, we have to wait to the very last minute. I'm currently waiting on 2 shows that have not canceled. Now, I'm worried about that. We'll talk about those 2 shows, and we'll talk about Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania just reopened their doors 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Cool business. And people forget that we pay hundreds to thousands of dollars to be part of a convention. And these conventions don't have, we'll just say they don't have a voice either sometimes, because they have to wait for all the state legislation. They have to wait for not only that, but have to wait for the convention to go and say, we can't have you this year. And then you have to worry about, now where's the money's going to go? Are we holding on to your money? Or are we giving it back? Are we losing the shirts off our back? Now, granted, we were all losing our shirts off our back. But people are forgetting that everyone's got to make money. but everyone also has to be in this together. I have no problem with the convention canceling and using that $100 to put it for next year, and I have a guaranteed spot.
Yeah.
As certain people don't have San Diego is nice enough to literally bring it over to next year. I lost what is it? I lost Puerto Rico Comic Con for May. It got moved to next year.
Yeah.
And
to go off on what you were talking about earlier, how I had an issue in one of those groups. Somebody decided that they were the moderator or the founder of their said group. I thought that was hilarious, as she put it in quotations to me. And then she called, which I thought this is where I think it takes the balls and audacity of this person.
Right.
She called around to different venues and convention places, and we're telling them they need to cancel their shows because the governor put back in March that there is a ban on certain things in certain places, and that's it.
Right.
And then she called around and did all this stuff like that and sounded like a cuckoo. And then when people such as myself who work in a convention scene, and there were other people there that help out and do certain things in other conventions, we're trying to talk to her and be like, look, that's not how this works. You still have to wait. You got to find out about the force majeure clause. You have to find out about the insurances. You still have to find out, are they going to be able to hold a show because of the state might not hold it? And then proceeded to get upset that I was speaking the truth and I wasn't rallying around her, and neither was everyone else in the group with their pitchforks and fires. And she banned us all and threw us all out.
Well, I see that to be a problem where she's not creating a solution.
Nope.
As Kat just said, maybe conventions could assign passes. These are the groups of the first hour and a half. These are the people in an hour and a half later. You can actually rotate people coming in and out.
You could do that with like a certain time frame, almost like a movie theater. Like, hey, you're going to see an 11 o'clock movie. You got till like 1:30, 2 o'clock. Right. But if you're going to do something like that, you also got to temper down the expectation of how much they're paying for tickets. Because if I'm paying for a ticket and I'm going to a movie that's $12 to $15 depending, I'm going to a convention, I'm expecting to pay $40 to $80 to $100 and something dollars, depending on how long I'm going to be there, whether it's a day, 2 days, a VIP pass. What do I get out of that? And then also you got to think about, look at what are they going to set up for types of space around vendors? Mm-hmm. Can you just have somebody go right into your whole vendor space and just be going in? Like, you see it when you're at a show, how many people go up to your book and look through your art book? Yeah. And they will literally, and then they'll put their mug down on top of your art or something. Like, they get the Wild Bill's mug, which I love Wild Bill's. I love their drinks. Don't hate me for it, guys, but I love it. But you get those, and I know a lot of artists and a lot of vendors don't like that when those people come up or they have a hot dog or a potato chips or something, and they put it around the top of their table, and you get pissed off about that. Now imagine they're and then touching all your stuff around.
Oh my God, I see it all the time, especially kids as well too. Kids will sit there, they got food and everything in their hands. Mom and dad just don't care, and it's pretty much like germaphobe and everything. Sammy just said Gen Con is still happening for August, and they're supposed to handle about 60,000 people.
Where is Gen Con at?
Gen Con is that the one in Washington State, or is that the one in Ohio? I can't remember. There's two. By the way, there's two Gen Cons, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was two, like one Midwest and one on the west side of the country. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone just said, I hate when they put drinks on the. Everyone hates it. We hate it when people leave their cups behind, let alone garbage or trash.
I worked in retail. How many kids come into my store and leave like they have a coffee or something, they leave it behind, or an ice cream cup and they leave it behind? Like
Indianapolis. Gen Con's in Indianapolis.
Right. And now Indianapolis, you got to look at with them too. That's usually where they have the combine for football and everything like that. Who knows to see where they're going to reopen that state? How fast does, did they curb the growth and whatnot? And then if they are going to have 60,000, how spread out are you going to be? Because some conventions.
Well, let's see. Because I have a big fat list that shows every state that was supposed to be open. Because finding out that Pennsylvania was supposed to be open 2 days ago, like this weekend, kind of cringes me a little bit, but kind of it kind of worries me at the same time to see where the state is at, especially after this weekend. But to probably answer Sammy's question, that Indianapolis was opened starting May 1st, but we haven't seen any numbers yet.
No, we haven't seen any numbers yet.
So maybe August, maybe July or August can change, or maybe in hindsight that could be a great thing for the convention. The fact that they haven't had a large case, or like I know conventions, I know certain shows. One of the agents, officers, or somebody, they had put up what there was a barricade for the VIP tables now for the celebrity guests, which the only slot that was allowed open was underneath it, almost like you went to a teller.
Yeah. And I honestly think that's what you might have happen at shows like that going forward. If there are any shows this year, you will probably see, like, because I know where I go to, like my restaurants around here, like Dunkin' Donuts and some place like that, if I have to go in there, they put up that plexiglass in front.
Right.
And it's like a little spot that's underneath, just big enough to get a coffee through and a credit card or something. But I think that's what you might see at a convention.
Mm-hmm.
But then also figure, do you think any celeb's going to want you to bring in a toy, a pop, a DVD, or anything that you're going to be able to bring in, walk up, hand it to them, and they're going to sign it? You're probably going to get a lot of like photos. They're going to get signed and handed off to them.
But we were discussing a few days ago, this also hurts the photo ops area. Yep. Everyone relies on the extraness for the photo ops.
Mm-hmm.
So how will that even help as well too?
You're not going to get selfies with the celebs at their table. They're not going to, give a selfie there. So you're going to lose that type of revenue. And then if you do get a photo op with a celebrity, how close are you going to be to the celeb? If we're saying 6 feet, you can't be on top of a celeb. And some of the celebs, I mean, we know a couple of celebs, you've met a bunch, I've met a bunch, that are very germaphobes because they do so many conventions, and some of them, this is their livelihood. They don't want to have somebody coming up and handshaking them or give them a hug or something. Like, just right on the snot.
We just make fun of the thing of just going like this, but then meanwhile, we see it all the time. Coughing on the elbow, we see the coughing on the elbow, and then meanwhile a second later, be like, "Oh yeah, we're only going to do elbows," and it's the same elbow you just wiped your nose with.
Yep,
it's the same darn elbow.
Yeah, and everyone's like coughing your elbow or sneezing your arm or something, and then you're going to go up and touch somebody or do something like that. It's not going to be a good look at all. Right. And I think if any of the photo op companies can figure a way where you could be sitting there, did somebody say online area?
So Sammy has said that Gen Con, if it gets canceled, will move to an online arena. Now, this is what we've seen as an online arena. It is not a full for vendors and artists.
No.
What I've seen as an online arena, which if anyone has seen the examples, Wizard World to VirtueCon to all these virtual reality conventions, it is based on the celebrity guests, not for the vendors, not for the artists. Now, we have a guy, which we all know, Pops Van Zandt, who's part of the comic related madness, and he's opened up a door for artists while everyone else is just talking for other things.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks. It's getting gray. My friend Eric would like to point that I have a lot of gray now. Thanks, Eric.
Hey, it's distinguished, all right?
No, the eyebrows have now gone gray. But then I watched another convention turn to vendors and start charging the vendors for space, and these comic book stores are closed. How are you going to charge a vendor? How am I going to charge a vendor who isn't fully open, who has to have an online store to sell a toy, to sell a comic book, and he's got to sell whatever inventory he has left? Because Marvel and DC and Dark Horse and Image and everyone else have not released new books.
Here's the thing, though. I can see why a show is going to charge for a vendor to pay for a vendor space. What does a Comic-Con or a convention have? They have the outreach. They have the fan base. They have that. A lot of comic stores don't have that huge fan base, and they go to conventions that recognize them at conventions, and that's how they get a lot of the sales, because they return to those same places with good product.
Right.
So you charge them, and I'm not saying charge them like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but if you charge them maybe $20, and
but
they have a chance to do something.
I watched the convention literally tell every single vendor that we can get tens of thousands of people to show up for a convention, for an online convention, and no one bought the bullet. Let alone when the day of the convention came, no more than 20 people, which was their own staff, watched the live event.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, like, granted, I'm going to say this, Wizard World, Rhode Island, all these conventions, they can pull together and be like, okay, we're going to do one day celebrity guest. Next weekend, we're going to do the vendors. The following weekend, we're going to do the artist. And we can do every single artist and get them up the wazoo and create more of a buzz for your shows. But people don't do that.
No.
You know, I don't see I don't see even the small time guys getting in on this. You know, I see the small time guys putting on like little panels or shows and saying, "Oh my God, we do the best show ever," and then meanwhile, you still have only 1,000 guests and you're still doing a hotel party. How are you supposed to compete with the bigger guys? I get it. I love it. I love the competition, but if you're stuck to 1,000 people that are going to come to your show, how is that 1,000 people, which is now reduced to, I would say, less than 100 people, going to watch you?
A lot of them aren't.
They're not.
Tragically are. And a lot of them, like the smaller shows that have those 1,000 people that go to a show, it's because they're there because it's all local. Mm-hmm. They're all local vendors, local artists, local stuff that's in their neighborhood within like 50 miles, 100 miles or so. They're there for the day, maybe 2 days. They go to visit.
Right.
They're not going long term to other shows, and they do that because it is a small show, cost effective to get in. You know, cheap hotel rates, things like that, and the hotels just barely probably
cheap hotel rates, those hotel parties.
Hey, you spend more on alcohol because you're not paying for the hotel, which is great.
Yeah, but if it's a tri-state, we're still messed anyway. So we got to find a fan or two to go get us the liquor before the night ends. Cheers for those. Thank you for those people that have actually brought us liquor at those times. Thank you. There is a few kind people that when I started doing Pennsylvania shows, they were nice enough to bring me a bottle or a case of beer and meet me at the hotel.
I have a few in Colorado. They will bring me a 6-pack or a 12-pack of some booze, or they drop me off some wine bottles. I greatly appreciate you guys. I love you.
I still remember with Froggy ever comes back to watch, we got a ride. I got picked up by a nice girl, and we got to ride back to our hotel room in Massachusetts. So,
oh, there you go.
Sorry, Pennsylvania. The Great Philadelphia Comic-Con.
That's good then. But
yes, Pops. You know, Pops has an amazing thing. Remind us again when the next show is going to be. I believe it's a June show, so just let us know when that's going to happen. Any artist, promoter, and anything else, if you guys are around, just come and join us any single time. And here to join us as well too is a well-renowned artist by the name of Sammy Castillo. Hi, Sammy.
Hey, everyone.
How are you?
I know Sammy. How you doing?
How you doing? I know you know Mike.
Good.
So Sammy has been collectively in the industry for more than 25 plus years. So as an artist, she'll tell you like all the shows that she travels literally from Orlando, Florida, all the way to San Diego just to do a Comic-Con.
Yeah, I drive. Yeah. I'm insane.
Is that a new chair?
Yeah. I redid the whole studio garage. So like the painting area is now right there.
Oh, that's my God. All right, I got to come to Florida soon.
Yeah.
I got to come. All right, so Pops said first weekend come and join the comic-related madness.
Yeah.
So Sammy was going back and forth and everything, so I figured jump in because you have a lot to say, especially with shows going on.
Yeah.
Have you done any of these online shows or any of these online panel stuff so far?
I haven't because I already have an online presence in terms of like people being able to watch me and experience me online through the Twitch live streaming and my website. My other social media sucks because I'm terrible at posting. I am not like the later half of being a millennial.
Right.
I like post once every 4 months. I'm like, why don't I have 1,000? Why don't I have 10,000 members?
Right. I've been doing this for such a long time. Why do I only have this many people?
Why do I only have 1,000 when other assholes have 10,000 and they're doing fucking clip art shit? What the fuck? Pardon my language.
No, that's fine.
That's why they have 10,000 people that are doing clip art. They're not actually making art.
That's right. And they can post every day.
hey, kudos to the guys that do stick figure art and still manage to sell.
Hey, at least it's original, right?
Right.
It's original. Digital collage art.
So stick art,
stick art
does sell? I'm going to start working on it now.
Yeah.
Right. No, it sells. It sells.
Well,
it's a
look
whole
at
market.
the guys that did that. It's now a game, but it's the little like demented cartoons where they have like a round head and a square body and like lines for arms and legs. It was a cartoon strip. And now they have like merchandising and they have a whole game where you like take panels of their comics and make a fucked up comic about it.
Right. I think
but you don't need talent to have, you don't need it to be super sophisticated to make money.
It's such an amazing thing too. Like it's something so simple yet works.
Yeah. It's a gimmick. But in terms of like online stuff, I haven't yet. With San Diego and probably Gen Con reaching out to me, they both have kind of explained to me that they're going to be doing more like an online con.
Right.
In terms of vendors and artists, I don't really know what that means.
Right.
I
don't think anyone knows what that means.
Is highlight. I know Gen Con called and talked to me directly. Their floor, the head of their floor called directly, which is why I love them. And we talked for about 30 minutes about, what's going to happen to the show and if it gets canceled, what they're going to do. And they want to do like a highlight page of some of the art and products that I have exclusive. And then it'll lead them to my website. Is briefly what I understood them to be. San Diego, I have no idea what they're planning on doing. I know they haven't sent anything officially out, but I've seen a couple places like the unofficial San Diego blog and
the unofficial Hall H, everyone's invited kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know what those guys that usually have reliable information, but they're not official.
Now, if anyone knows that what Los Angeles says, like as we talk about San Diego Comic-Con, if anyone's ever been to Hall H holds about, 30,000 people. Now, I don't think they can hold 30,000 people to join in on a live panel, but we could probably get 20,000 people to watch a live stream.
Honestly, what they'll probably do is if you have paid for with San Diego, it's going to be lottery based. If you 9 chances out of 10, you're going to get an email and you're going to click on it. And if you get a ticket and they pull your lottery number, then you get to watch the live stream.
Right.
That's logistically probably what they're going to do. Because that's how they run their panels now. Instead of like camping out at 4 a.m. and then sitting in the hall to see the panel that you want from as soon as the doors open. So you sit through 5 fucking panels that you don't even want to see anyway to see 10 minutes of somebody scratching their scrotum and here's our preview.
Who did that? I forget. Like some guy sat there during their own panel and everything. It was during Hall H. So
I don't know.
Himself.
You're getting over. This is me after hundreds of shows over the last 10 years. There's no buffer anymore. I'm not excited about it. That's what it is.
but here's something that we're gonna miss for this year. Yelling at all those people at San Diego Comic-Con saying, don't run. And you literally see a crowd of people running past your table.
I'm going to miss that, like, walk run.
Yeah.
People trying to do it. That's going to be the best. Usually once a year, I see a fat kid biff it. Yeah. Like the walk, run, and trip over himself, and then smash in front of the booth.
Oh no, we had the one girl fall around her face.
That's right. Yeah,
you and I ran and like yelled at people.
Went in for her stupid exclusive.
Yes.
That she probably couldn't buy anyway.
Those free posters.
I'll tell you how I really feel. Now, I actually, San Diego, aside from the crazy fans, San Diego is, aside from it being a massive fucking headache, it's actually one of my favorite shows because I have such good fans there and they're all super supportive. I really haven't done an online Comic-Con because most of the time I see it and it's like this. It's like, join us doing this. And I'm like, okay, I could just do that myself. I mean, you know, I know tons of high-end people in the industry, you know, like equal or greater than Tommy. I could fucking call Tech Sierra or Ransom Getty and be like, hey, let's come on to talk about comics for an hour.
Why not? This actually helps promote other artists. Like, I love the fact that you're on this, so this helps you. This helps Michael. This helps me. This is how the community stays alive. This is how we stay with the scene.
I've been really happy with how receptive the fans have been with this whole online thing. Like this whole online, I'm going to follow you now online. I've been slowly transitioning more online anyway over the last few years because I'm tired of being on the road 30, 40 weeks out of the year. Oh, yeah. And
I only do about 5 or 6. God bless you for like 40.
Well, when Tommy was alive, up until this year, I was doing no less than 25 shows a year. Even when Tommy was sick and on dialysis, we had done like 16 shows.
Yeah, and by the way, Michael, I actually wanted to do Colorado this year because there was actually a nice little gap to drive from New York to Colorado, possibly.
I liked Colorado. That was a good show. I had a lot of fun with that one.
I still haven't done it. No.
Huh?
I still haven't done the show. I'd love to.
Is it still in the mall that it was when I went?
Yes, we moved into a different venue.
Yeah.
We put it into a different spot of the mall, and we converted like 2 floors into a convention space. And we did it last year was the first year in the new space. Absolutely incredible.
Awesome.
Like, we had such a good turnout. Fan base was absolutely amazing for it, and hoping this year we can do it. We're still waiting. I know Denver's reopened technically, but we haven't heard anything yet from the venue because it's part of a mall, so the malls are still closed down because that's going to be Disneyland for everybody once they do open up. Where's everyone going to flock to? A mall.
Yep.
And that's what's going to happen. So I think right now they're still keeping it closed. Even if they do open it like a month beforehand, hey, that works for us. We don't need that long to get in there and prep the building to get it going.
Right.
And we have, that show's probably like 60%, almost 70% sold out.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of people haven't bought space right now because of what's going on in the industry, and I totally understand that.
Yeah.
It makes it a little difficult to buy space if you don't know.
Right, like how
will there be a show? Is there not going to be a show? Yeah.
What have they said about Colorado? Like, have they said anything? I mean, they've been open since like between April 27th to like May 4th. So they've been open for business.
We haven't heard anything.
Opened Monday.
Well, and then Pennsylvania opened this weekend.
Yeah.
So I got to see if Steel City is going to stay open and what's happening with Wizard World, because literally the second weekend is when everything's supposed to happen. Is Steel City going to keep their doors open? What's their protocol? Because right now everyone's still on the red open, and yellow is when all the malls reopen.
Well, I would expect, honestly, Florida is doing it based on infection numbers. And so
is it per county? Like, are they doing this per county kind of thing?
Yes.
Because I watched.
For us.
Right. Because I'm sorry to cut you off, but we found something very interesting that this week alone, 3 shows were actually aired. Like, WWE is based out of Orlando, while another wrestling company who does a live show did it out of Jacksonville, out of Tampa.
Well, that's because they were airing those even during lockdown because they consider wrestling an essential worker.
Yeah.
In Florida, which is hilarious to me.
I'm sorry. I love my wrestling, but that's not essential. I tried tuning in. I tuned in one night to watch. I sat there for about 10 minutes and I was like, I can't do this.
Weird.
It was weird. There was
can't.
no crowd. Like
No
there
crowd.
was no crowd. It was really weird. Because-
UFC just had their event just Saturday out of Jacksonville, Florida, with no crowd, just the staff. But you get to hear.
They were talking about doing sports like that. Like, Ben is in Australia, my fiance, and they did AFL, Australian Football League. They did two games with no crowd because they had to get those games before they suspended play.
Right.
And there was no crowd. Disney's going to probably be reopened by June 14th, mid-June. They're talking about June 13th, but they're going to be at like 20 to 25% capacity. So we're open right now, retail stores and restaurants.
Are the malls open here?
Huh?
Are the malls open?
I don't think so. They might be, but I know regular retail stores like clothing stores and shit like that. You can go in, but it's 25% capacity. So they have people like at the door counting, and you have most places you have to wear a mask to go in, or they won't let you in at all. Like the Target down the street from me, you have to wear a mask. They won't let you in without one. And there's only one entrance and one exit. And it's basically like IKEA, where like you go in one side and you have to like zigzag through the store and then leave the other entrance, because Target has those two entrances.
They're doing the same thing around me in Rhode Island. We just opened up this weekend. Saturday was the state stay-at-home was lifted, the executive order. And I had a couple of friends that work in retail, and they said it was like a lot of people flocked to the stores first thing in the morning, and then mid-afternoon when it was nice weather out there, went right to them. And people were waiting outside 5-6 feet apart and doing that. Everyone was wearing a mask. They were only allowed like 4 or 5 in a store at a time, and that was pretty much it. But we're
gonna see the effects of this honestly into 2021. Because this is, this is our generation's Spanish flu, and we're going to hit a second wave. It's probably like all the states are going to open and then the second wave is going to hit unless they miraculously come up with a vaccine or something before that, or an inoculation.
Or unless there's a huge miracle that like very few people get infected and we still have like doors still open. So there's that as well too. This is what the government wants. They want very little infected. Let's see how the economy goes, and let's see how things go. Because look, like you said, Gen Con's in August. You have your show in Colorado, which you don't even know if it's open or closed yet. With Massachusetts being closed until Labor Day, which is actually detrimental for the Rhode Island, New England area. So that hurts a lot of the economy, let alone all the convention centers. Which no one in New York will actually talk about this, is that Jacob Javits Center is not opening this year. So the fact that there is billed to be no New York Comic Con, and everyone is in high hopes. You have a lot of people thinking that New York Comic Con is actually going to happen, while the New York City Commissioner said on a tweet, "We're not opening anything. If concerts are closed, what makes anyone think that Jacob Javits Center is going to open for New York Comic Con?"
They also turned the Javits Center into a field hospital, and it has to stay up for 12 months. So how are you going to take that down? And if you do take it down, it takes 2 months after they take it down to clean the facility. They have to remove the heating, air conditioning, vents, everything. That takes 2 months to clean that out. If they take that down at the end of October, your show is October like 12th or 15th or something in that range. And you're not having
germaphobes. The same way we're talking about all the guests who are germaphobes. What about the actual people that come to conventions who are truly germaphobes?
Yeah.
You have those people not wanting to go to a show.
Yeah, I mean, San Diego right now, their convention center is housing like 2,000 homeless.
Yeah.
Sheltering all the homeless in the city. And like they got hit bad just like the rest of the state. And they're going to have to do a sanitation. But I don't even know. Like, I think their state reopened about the same time as Florida, maybe a couple of days before or after, right around there. But
San Diego's fully open. Yeah.
Where those people, they're not going to kick those people back out on the street when there's a pandemic still. So they're all holed up in there. And I think even though Florida is open, the gathering ban, that gathering limit is still in effect. So they're not.
Is it no more than like 10 or something?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't. So I know MegaCon was canceled.
Yeah.
And they pushed that back.
They pushed
back to June something. Yeah. And
then I heard it got pushed to September or October.
Yeah, it was canceled. I was told by people going to the show it was canceled. And by going to the show, I mean vendors.
Well, anyone's watching this telling us right now, they'll be quick instead of us sitting there researching. If anyone can tell us what shows are open or got rescheduled or got canceled for later in the year, please drop us in the comments so everyone knows, because there's still tons of shows that are happening that are still on the list.
I don't see
open.
I know a few got a few postponed to the later part of the year.
Yeah.
Emerald City Comic Con got postponed to the later part of the year. I think Denver Comic Con is Thanksgiving weekend, which I think it's going to hurt them big time. If they go on, that's not a good look for you on Thanksgiving weekend. You want to put a show with 50, 60,000 plus people come to the same weekend as, Black Friday, that people go shopping, families. They're not going to a convention. And what celebs are you going to get? And they usually get some of the better celebs around the area.
Right.
Yeah. So,
I know a lot of celebrities like canceled their whole year, and they're like, nope, we're not doing anything.
Well, think about it. If all these shows get rescheduled to the end of the year, all the TV shows, all the movies, all the productions that they were on right now that are in hiatus because of this, when are they going to start? They're going to start back up in June, July, August, and no movie theater is going to let. A movie production company is going to be like, oh, Chris Evans. Oh yeah, sure, feel free. Go to a convention when you could possibly get infected and
bring
put
it
us
back
out.
and be out. Yeah.
They're not going to allow anybody. You're not going to see the major A-list or B-list celebs that are going to go to shows. And if you do, they're going to be so strict on everything. It's going to be ridiculous.
No touching.
Yep.
There's probably not going to be any photo ops either.
Yeah, I say
I'm talking about that.
From this year to next year is done. Next year, I don't even see a photo ops.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, I do the great Philly Comic Con.
Right.
And that moved to September. Which is, fine for me. I don't care. But I just don't I think the later half of the year is unless we get a second wave, is gonna be, the safest bet. I figured honestly that the shows were going to get canceled until September, October anyway, with the way things are.
All right. So someone here, I'll put this up. Someone has just says, I don't get how New York Comic Con thinks that they will be having their convention this year. The governor said that the last thing they will allow to happen will be group gathering events like conventions and concerts. Yes, we're just discussing that this is not happening, but we're talking about that people who are in the community of cosplayers and attendees actually think that New York Comic Con is going to happen because the other states around them being open. So no one's paying attention of how bad New York is. New York is number one with this pandemic.
Yeah.
Now, as we're going to repeat it again too, if they decide to close down the hospital, and they close down the hospital probably in August if they choose to do it, they're going to have to take 2 months to clean it. By the time it's over, it's the first weekend of October, which is New York Comic Con. But New York Comic Con has to go and say, are we going to do this? On top of this, the New York City Commissioner stopped all conventions. Actually, they stopped all concerts. So Broadway is closed. If anyone thinks Broadway is open, it's not open at all. I live in New York. I pay attention to what the NYPD's been posting. And NYPD owns and runs New York City. So if they open up the theaters, if they decide to open up any movie theaters or Broadway, then that's when things are going to open. As far as other states are concerned, is when they open up their malls is when this is going to happen again. But it's not. Cancel all plans coming to New York this year.
Yeah.
Even think of it this way, though, Hash. If they do open everything back up and say, hey, we can have conventions again, how many people do you think, one, have the money, who've been out of work for God knows how long, barely scraping by to make their bills, and now all of a sudden, hey, a convention comes up, they're not going to be able to go. Two, how many are going to want to go out of risk of what happens if there's a second wave?
I know.
And you're sitting in an incubation period
right?
With people from all over the country.
That's what I'm curious about Gen Con. You know, Gen Con last year was 60,000 people. And the convention center is not like huge, and it's between the Lucas. Thank you, Oliver. Is between the Lucas Oil Stadium, some other panel rooms, and then the vendor room, and it's cram packed. So you know, even if they have it, it's like, okay, what social distancing guidelines are you going to adhere, like put in there? Because you know, the ratio basically is 30%. You know, 30% capacity gives everybody over 6 feet of distance is the general rule of thumb I've seen. So it's like, okay, you're only letting 30% of the people say in the vendor room. So where are the rest of the people going to go? Where's the other set, you know, 40, I mean, I can't math. That's why I'm an artist.
Right.
Where's the other set? I can draw you a picture. I'll draw you a pie graph, and I can word that better. But that's the thing, like, you know, that's why I really can't see any major conventions, you know, happening this year, because even if we do the social, you know, the social distancing, as a vendor artist who in the bigger shows pays for my space when I have to, you know, I told them flat out, I'm like, okay, well, I pay this much. I pay thousands of dollars for my booth, say for Gen Con,
right?
And you promise me this many people,
right?
And if you limit that many people, I should get a refund on my a partial refund on my booth,
right?
Because if you're only going to bring in 10 to 20,000 people,
there should be a discount.
There should be a discount.
It should be a huge discount, but people can't afford even the venues anymore.
Yeah, and that's I think why it's taking a while for these bigger shows to kind of come out and say, hey, look, like, we're not going to do it. We're going to do it because, you know, most people don't understand that, you know, there's the, like you were saying before, the insurance, the venue, you know, it's like telephone. It's like, okay, we put it in motion. Now we got to wait for that guy down there to come all the way back with an answer, you know, because
you also got to take in consideration if you cancel a show, and it's not something by the state, the government, or anything like that, you still have a deposit that you just lost, or you have to pay for that venue. Now you have a hotel block that you've promised that hotel, we're going to fill this. If you don't fill it, you have to pay that.
Right.
And here's the trick.
You know, all the guest flights and stuff like that.
Right. And then how about any of the celebrities? They are, some celebs are on a pay or play guarantee. You have to pay them even if you decide to cancel them.
Right.
So, and then what happens? Some of them that you have to pay up front. What'd you say?
I said, can I be one of those celebrities?
Right. But there are some. There are some celebs that you have to pay in advance, like almost 2 months before a show. So now, can you afford to have $100,000 out to a guest, and you don't know when they're going to send it back to you, but they have a date and they need it, or they don't come to your show.
Right.
They might give you a little leeway, maybe a week or so, but they need that. And if you don't pay that, they're not coming. And then what happens if you do pay that? How long is it going to take for them to return it? And then the hotels, the flights, everything along those lines. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that once COVID-19 was named, no insurance company would put it down. You can't sit there, I'm going to do a show at the end of the year. I'm going to pay for insurance for COVID-19, and in case it closes, you're going to pay me back. No.
No.
But there are people out there like, you'll just get insurance money. No, we don't. Like,
well, Mike, do you see conventions actually getting smaller starting next year? Instead of having full capacity, they're going down like 50% or reduced down to like 25 just to get the numbers back up? Like, how do you see it in your own eyes?
My personal opinion, as a fan and stuff like that, I think you're going to see a lot of shows not come back next year. You're going to see a lot of the lower shows, some of the smaller shows that were trying to compete with some of the big shows, and they're not going to be able to come back because they just can't afford it, because this year probably killed them because they probably had to cancel and they didn't have the venues and everything like that. And some of those venues probably had clauses in their contracts where you got to pay us no matter what. So I think you're going to see almost like in a way a course correction where you're not going to see a lot of the small mom and pop little shows pop up all over the place. You're going to see some of the bigger shows that have that fan base that are going to be able to sustain it. yes, I think we will see a drop in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the first half of the year, as long as there's no major outbreaks, no major catastrophes, by the second half of the year, July on, I think you'll see shows almost at full capacity again. And that's barring no major issues health-wise or anything along those lines.
Yeah, like it sounds. What I'm about to say sounds kind of shitty, but it's from from a like vendor artist perspective. Like COVID-19 is like a culling of the convention scene where the weak are going to die, which is awesome. And people are going to think it's crazy, but it's actually awesome because we went from having, say, 10 years ago, having maybe 100 shows a year, maybe a little bit more. The last I checked, there's over 3,000 conventions in 52 weeks. That's fucking insane. And the
now, are you counting worldwide or just in the United States?
Just North America. And that's
North America?
Yeah, that's just North America.
That is
insane.
Every single state. She's almost every state has about 4 to 5 shows.
Sometimes. I literally checked. I could do 52 conventions, comic conventions in the state of Florida, and never, within reason, of course, but never leave my state. And I could be set for over 30 weeks out of the year between one-day shows and, regular con events.
Right.
It's insane. So,
but see, now, in that respect, I think is where we are, where anybody calls themselves a comic convention, a one-day show.
Yeah.
You're not a one-day, you're not a comic convention.
Right.
You're a festival. You're a pop-up fest. And I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to be mean.
No.
You're a flea market. Mm-hmm. Some of them are like flea markets.
Agreed.
And they pop up, and I've been to a couple, and I walk around, and I'm walking, and I'm just like, wow, did I just enter the Big Top Flea Market in Providence, Rhode Island? And occasionally you'll see a vendor or an artist that's got something decent you stop at, but for the most part, you walk around, you're done in 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and you go home.
But the thing is that the people that are going from 10 years ago to now, the people that are going to comic conventions are it's a completely different crowd because of the films and popularizing it. So they don't understand, when they hear Comic-Cons or comic conventions, they think it's all the same. Mm-hmm. Between, if the Greenville Comic-Con is happening, next weekend, we'll just go to that instead of, the Galaxy Con or whatever. Right. So the problem is that back in the day when it was like the golden saturation, Comic-Cons came around once a year and it was an event. People saved up all year for this event. They had their 3-4 days of freak, and then they bought everything, and then they went home happy. Yeah. And it was a thing, but now it's so saturated that it's cut everybody's profit, by like 30-40%. And it's like, I hear people all the time, outside of the fact of them not being, knowing who comic book artists are, but that's my problem, unfortunately. But, I hear them go, oh, well, I didn't get paid. I just had enough money to get in. That's all right. We'll go to the next con next weekend.
But I'm not at the next con next weekend.
And I'm like, I'm not going to be there, asshole. Sorry. But the thing is that, like, it's not an event anymore. It's such a commonplace thing that it's not special. And instead of, making the pool bigger, they just, with all of these cons, it's just stretch the pool that's there out even thinner across the board. And I know artists that are freaking out about not having conventions or anything, and that's fair. But for me, this is the longest I've been home in 10 years.
Your dog's looking at you like, what are you doing here? Did you get fired?
They're like,
you all right?
What are you? Why are you here? You're going to leave, right? My last go away convention was in December. And I don't have another one until August. Like, I did Central Florida Comic-Con, but that's like an hour from my house, so I just slept in my own bed. But I'm actually I'm happy for the break. But two, like I'm happy about the fact that it's going to weed out all of these little shitty money grab shows, as I call them. You know, the people that are like, oh, we're just going to throw up this convention and get money off the door. Like, no.
We're going to jump on the bandwagon of San Diego. We're going to jump on the bandwagon of New York Comic Con.
You know, they just want to
Rhode Island. That's what's going to happen.
Right. And the people that truly love it, like there are small shows that will survive because the owners do it for the love of it, like Smallville Comic-Con, you know, by John Robinson. You know, he's been doing it for years and I'm sure they're turning a profit now, but he keeps it small because he's like, I don't want huge guests. Like I love coming to the shows. I love being, you know, I want it to be this. Is it Gem City in Ohio? The one
yes.
Yeah. That one. That's another one that is kept small with no celebrity guests and is just for the love of comics and artists. And I think we're gonna actually see, especially with the celebrities not wanting to risk their health and careers, I think we're gonna see it kind of stepping back a little bit.
Go back to normal artists
to be. Where you're not going to get these A-list celebrity actors. Like, you know, that's awesome that they come, but they're really fucking expensive and they're millionaires anyway. Like, throw me a bone here, okay? You know?
Like, what are they doing for me when they're coming to a show? They're not doing anything. It's like,
all right, why are you giving, you know, Jason Momoa and Kevin Smith fucking $1,000 for a photo op, you know, when they're already millionaires, you know?
Yeah.
But I think you're going to see a couple of steps back into the direction that we were toward the beginning of, you know, the decade back in like 2010 to 2013. That was really, I think a really awesome time for conventions because it was the perfect amount with the perfect saturation.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, people just kept saying like money, money, money. And that's why a lot of shows started cropping up because they saw it as money grabs.
And I think you're going to see a course correction in a way. I hate to be mean, but some vendors and some artists.
Oh, definitely.
Probably they did the same thing, a cash grab. They're watching people like we're making fun of clip art guys and guys that do stuff like that. Yeah. How many of them now probably might not be able to because they might be sitting on so much inventory that they bought to go to a show and they can't sell it.
Yeah.
And now they're not selling it, you know, or they're not saving it.
That's marketing our own point. I've actually reached out to a few stores and a few retail locations, and I was able to like actually dish out to a few locations. So if artists are smart, you know, comic book stores that are open or have like a mom and pop shop, you can actually sell them, but no one does that.
Well, I've been
the extra resource.
I'm not the typical artist because I'm more of a businesswoman that happens to make art. So it's why I'm also not really hurting during this time, you know, because if I were to count, I have like 13 avenues of income aside from the conventions.
Right.
So between various places I sell and originals and commissions. So yeah, I mean, although as a side note, these last 4 weeks have made me realize how much of an extrovert I am because I had a problem with my PayPal card and I had to call and talk to someone. And I was really happy that I was talking to this PayPal woman because I hadn't talked to people in like weeks.
Yeah.
Talk to me. You're alive.
I mean, I spent the last 10 years surrounded most of my time by thousands of people. And now I'm a hermit. And I was making a joke because Ben, my fiance, is an introvert, and he keeps calling me an extrovert. I'm like, I'm not that extroverted. Whatever. And
but
then,
you are.
Yeah, but I so am.
Yeah.
But you know, as I was saying, like the like you were saying, and I don't really give a shit. All of those fan artists and those print sellers that steal and print off of shit from China, they can go fucking screw. Like, I hope they all burn and die over, you know, their companies burn and die over COVID, you know, because that's not, to me, as someone that's been in the industry and with the fan base that goes to the shows, they're not educated as comics. So I could say, oh yeah, I worked with Tommy Castillo on Batman for 9 years. And they're like, Batman? Cool. Who's Tommy? You know, did you do Deadpool? How about My Hero Academia? It's like, do I look like My Hero Academia?
You own a comic from 1985 to about 1993, and you tell them, by the way, you have a 10% chance that you own a Tommy Castillo comic book.
But they don't, and that's okay. But the problem with that is that 9 chances out of 10, if they see somebody in Artist Alley,
right,
you know, as an artist, like, you know, if people pay money to go set up, awesome, great. But they go, you know, people come to the show and they see so-and-so has Deadpool. Well, he must have done Deadpool. Let's buy him a Deadpool. I mean, one of the worst things I experienced that really frustrated me with conventions, which partially caused me to take a step back, was a guy was complaining about how he had an opportunity to meet Robert Downey Jr. and I think it was at San Diego.
I'd love to meet Robert Downey Jr.
Right. And he got a chance, like, he missed his opportunity, like, during the meet and greet, like, the quick, sporadic San Diego, whatever he did. And I said, oh, well, if you want to meet Iron Man, go meet Bob Layton. Yep. And literally the dude was like, who the fuck's Bob Layton?
Oh, geez.
And I went, I told him, like, are you fucking serious?
Right.
I'm like, he's just one of the most iconic Iron Man artists ever.
Don't buy my Iron Man. Buy the guy who just created Iron Man. Go over there.
Robert Downey Jr. would have not even had a comeback if it wasn't for Bob Layton and Iron Man. You know, like, but all the people see is what's splashed up on their screen. So, you know, our run on Batman, I have 1,000 of our style Batmans. You know, people are like, well, do you have the Justice League Batman? It's like, no, I don't have the fucking Justice League Batman, because that's all people know. And it's as an artist and someone that was heavily in the industry, it's really disappointing to say we're in hundreds of, you know, these things, hundreds of titles. And people are like, that's cool. Do you have My Hero Academia? You know, and it's like, I don't even know what that is, man.
They want anime. They want anime.
Yeah, I do Gundam. That's not as anime as I get.
Anime figure stuff.
I do them for fun, and if you happen to like them, buy one. I don't care.
Hey, your Gundam is anime, by the way.
I know. It's one thing. One. I got one.
The one thing Sammy draws of anime is the Gundam, because she actually likes Gundam.
Yeah, and I do it as a palate cleanser, because after Tommy died, all I drew was Batman, Joker, Harley, Scarecrow, Batman, Joker, Harley, Scarecrow. I've drawn more Batman, Harley, Joker, Scarecrows in the last 3 years than Tommy did in the 32 years of his career.
But Sammy, you're also a big fan of the Clone Wars.
Oh, I love Clone Wars so much, but I have only done 2 Star Wars pieces.
You know,
that's it. They've never been reprinted. I did them for a fan.
Captain Rex.
Huh?
I want to see you do a Captain Rex.
I do want to do a Captain Rex, yeah. I just watched, totally off topic of whatever this stream is supposed to be about. I just watched season 7.
Comic-Con as of now. So this is also part of Comic-Con. So
what?
The topic is Comic-Con as of now.
Oh, okay. I just watched the last season of Clone Wars.
Right.
And whew, it was good. It was real good.
The last 4 episodes, straight up hands down, better than the last 3 movies.
Agreed. 1,000% agreed. Yeah.
So the last 2 episodes, the way they ended the Clone Wars, that was a masterpiece.
I love
they did it right.
Yeah, and I love Dave Filoni. Like, I love his work and how he handles all of the characters, because he is such a fan of the franchise that he does what fans want. Excuse me. He does what they want because he's a fan on his own. And that I really wasn't a Star Wars fan until I started watching Clone Wars. And then I was all in. Like, all in. If I could marry Captain Rex, I would. Like, flat out.
Well, Captain Rex technically is going to be back for The Mandalorian too. So
supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly Rex is back, Boba Fett's back, and they're bringing Ahsoka into it, which I'm thrilled with.
Yeah,
I love that.
He's a good, strong character.
And you've seen Clone Wars. Have
Right.
you, Hash?
I've seen the first 2 Clone Wars. I have not jumped in for this one yet.
The new season?
The current one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just one of with you, the last scene where you see Ahsoka Tano and you see Rex and that imagery, right. I want that as a poster. Like, I need them to come out with that and just have that. I would buy it in a heartbeat, and I would try to get that signed by every person on there that works on the Clone Wars.
A world-renowned artist. You could totally just commission her to do it, and then get it.
You ready to go?
I mean, I'm just saying.
No, I know. I gotta start working on some commissions soon. I gotta earn a little extra cash soon. I've been trying to support people like through the Comic Cons and doing stuff.
So many people have been so supportive with the whole thing, and especially with artists. Maybe that's a poster I need to do, and then Bernie can buy the original. Like, I had a fan, she's a collector of our artwork. Like, when this whole thing started and all the conventions, just blanket canceled, she just sent me money and was like, here you go.
Just make me anything.
Here's $100. If you don't need it, send it to somebody that does. I'm just taking care of my favorite artists.
Right.
I was like, awesome. That's groceries for this week, Yeah. But,
I've been trying to share posts on people. They're doing stuff, like I'm mentioning it to other friends. I've got friends that do like little side hustles that they're trying to do. I'm posting on it. I'll do a watch party, show it, and like I've bought a couple of pieces here and there and stuff like that from some artists that I know and follow.
Watched a movie last night, which you never did.
What?
Yeah, well, we tried to stream a movie last night, but we got blocked by Facebook.
Oh yeah, Facebook will do that.
Yeah, but it's funny that I find it hilarious because there's sometimes I'm watching some stuff on a watch party and people are watching movies or doing this stuff like that, and I'm like, that's fine, but we did it with like 4 people watching us and they blocked it, and you don't have the rights and stuff like that, and you can't do this, and I'm like,
that's weird.
How did that one do it? Like, what the hell?
Right.
Well, you're doing it on a personal account versus a business account. That might have a difference.
Well, I have a few movies and videos that are up and they haven't been red flagged yet, and you can actually watch those over. But anything live-wise, as you saw, like last month, I did like a live music stream, and that got torn down immediately because we're actually playing full songs. While the DJ stuff, like I'm part of the classics group, and you see that music always gets rotated every 30 to 40 minutes. So that's basically it. Where like anything new has got to be rotated, fresh, like gotta get rotated out. Anything old. If someone plays the original Fantastic Four movie,
we should put it up to 1990s Captain America.
Yes.
Are we talking to Roger Corman? Are we talking Roger Corman Fantastic Four? Because I don't think people have seen that.
No, I'm talking Roger or the Dolph Lundgren Punisher.
Oh. They don't. Their respective companies don't even want to claim them. They'll just leave it up there. Right. Like, we're not acknowledging we did that.
Right.
Hey, come on, David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury. I'm sorry.
Now
David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury.
We can Mystery Science Theater that shit.
We can do it.
I don't think anybody would tune in to watch it.
As you watch.
Yeah, but we would laugh, and that's all that matters. I don't even. How many viewers do we even have on this now?
In total we've had over 30 people watch. Currently, we have 6 people watching. Julian said he has the original Fantastic Four movie.
the Roger Corman. I honestly will say one thing about that. I love that movie for the simple fact that they actually did the right version of the Thing. They actually made him look good. He actually didn't look that bad. But the way they did Johnny Storm and Reed, oh my God, horrible. Reed Richards, you watch him, he goes like this with his arm, and it just looks like this giant noodle that goes across this floor, and then it comes up on the other side. It was so bad. The Hoff in the Generation X movie.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I forgot about that terrible thing.
That was Sebastian with that one. I didn't even remember that one.
Those are some movies.
Those are cringeworthy movies, but you still watch them.
Here, Julian said he got the Fantastic Four Comic-Con at San Diego.
at Comic Con
The movie?
94.
At the 94 one.
Although I am disappointed we're not going to be there for the 50th of San Diego.
I mean,
That
yeah,
would have been this year.
badges. Do you have your badges? Do you have the 50th anniversary box that they sent out?
No.
No, they didn't send it.
No, they didn't. They pulled their badge order. They didn't make any badges.
Ooh, it would be interesting to see what they had this for this year.
None of the badges got made. Nothing got made for Comic Con.
That would have been a nice thing to do, though, to even make them and then sell them.
Yeah.
So I bet you money fans would have bought them just because it was a 50th anniversary of San Diego Comic Con. They would have bought that.
I have somebody that works. I have someone that works with that print company that said told me about a week before San Diego announced it that San Diego pulled their badge order for this year and didn't reschedule it. So I assumed it was going to get canceled a week ahead of time because I was told by somebody that worked directly with the company. So
a lot of times those companies aren't going to hold that secret. They're going to let it out because they know something before everybody else.
A friend of mine, I went to college with them. So they were like, hey, just as a heads up, because I know I see you every year.
Right.
I'm not going to see you this year. But
hope you didn't book your flights. Just saying.
Oh, no, I
had to sit there and cancel 4 flights.
Hopefully you got your money back.
Yeah, I did get. Luckily, I did get my money back. So, and then the hotels as well too. I got lucky with the hotels. So, a lot of people still are waiting to get canceled and stuff. Call your hotels and your flights and get them canceled because, just to let you know, a lot of shows are not happening. Anything major holding 50,000+ people, canceled. Just cancel them now.
All right. So with that being said, Dragon Con in Atlanta is still going on.
Tentatively, yes, if they allow it. Right now, the parade is canceled. Because the governor and the city will not authorize any permits for outdoor gatherings. So all festivals, music, whatever, parades, all that shit. If it's more than I think if it's 200 people or more, they have to get a permit. They're not authorizing any permits. As far as in the buildings, though, that as I'm aware, is still going on. I'm not doing Dragon Con this year. After I don't know, probably collectively 20 years of doing it. Last year was my last year because I GTFO that ship.
Well, with Atlanta, it'd be interesting to see because they watched their numbers hike up in a weekend. In a full week, they went from I believe 4,000 infected to 14,000 infected with over a week. So it'll be tough to see. Granted, the show is in September. We'll see what happens.
It's Labor Day weekend.
Right, and the governor has gone and said we made a mistake. While the mayor of Atlanta has actually said, hands down, I'm surprised we're open. We shouldn't be open.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things go. Julian
Vegas.
just said all the shows in California, West Coast, are all canceled.
Well, and you have to be. I mean, I would rather be broke than dead.
Right.
I mean, my family has a history of asthma and COPD and heart problems.
Right.
My dad has all of it. My mom's got heart problems. My dad's got heart disease and, COPD and adult asthma. So, sorry, there's a gecko on my on my window outside trying to eat things. And so I just see this white streak going back and forth. Sorry, that was distracting.
Or something cool. We should just turn the camera here. Live lizard.
Yeah, I'm that dog from
Eating time.
Squirrel. That is me.
Yeah, Julian says San Diego lost probably close to $30 billion with canceling San Diego Comic-Con. Probably did.
Billion?
I don't know about 30 billion.
Ooh, no, probably
maybe 30 million.
Probably 30 million. If San Diego is pulling in billions, they need to kick some of that shit over to me. Okay?
Right.
Right. With the amount of billions, they could probably pay all the artists a handsome amount of money. Be like, oh, sorry, you can't make it for the year. Here's some extra money, and then bam, you're set for the year. Unlike our little severance check was $1,200, and we all know in New York it doesn't even, you can't even stand.
That's not even your rent. or your mortgage bill. That's like your gas bill from here to there, and
not even that can't even pay for like one property. Forget that. Let alone the taxes are too high.
Oh, can we talk about how gas is so fucking cheap right now? I haven't seen
you can't go anywhere.
In the 90s.
I paid $1.42 a gallon the other day. And I was
Julian yet again said, not millions, billions. Julian, if you have the article, share it with the page right now, because this is a topic on all on its own. How much did San Diego is going to lose this year is a key factor for not only San Diego starting next year or the following conventions to follow for next year.
Well, I know Disney's losing. Disney has lost like so far it's lost $150 billion.
No, Julie meant to say not just the convention, but like the city and the hotels. That we can actually see. Yes.
That I can understand, but still $30 billion? That seems a little like crazy amount of money.
Well, you're
hike that
I think they're talking about the city overall, not just like throughout the year so far, not just San Diego Comic-Con.
I was gonna say, if it's just San Diego Comic-Con, there's no way in hell that brings in $30 billion.
No, we interpret it as San Diego.
Maybe the whole year. I can understand the whole year. They probably are.
There is no city. It's a giant garbage dump full of homeless when San Diego doesn't roll in.
But like we see every single year, they have their.
The only good part about Blade Runner 2049 was that San Diego was a big trash pile. That was the only good part of that movie.
The fact that we saw the guys eat like catching pigeon, yeah, great. The one
tasty.
Yeah, the one time we see it. But anyway, I can actually see this like the city losing for the year about $30 billion.
Yeah, I could easily see that, sure. Because they do a ton of big expos and stuff like that, not just Comic-Con. They have at least, I think, like 20 or 30 of those size shows, a year over there. So
Joe says, "Look, my 3 favorite people."
What up there, Mr. Joe Mack?
Hi.
Missing you too.
And I can agree with San Diego losing so much money because you got to figure how many conventions do they have? Travel, tourism, baseball, a lot of stuff going on. So yes, they are taking a hit. Every major city that has a major travel and tourism is taking a hit. New York's definitely taking a hit. Miami's taking a hit. Like Washington's taking a hit. You've got a lot of places around the world. Seattle, Boston, a lot of major metropolitan cities are taking a hit from that. Hopefully the government can reimburse them somehow or do something to help them out.
Half the time becomes a giant tax write-off. We'll see it later down the line that this becomes a tax write-off. But you get to see, yet again with the loss of all these theaters, movie theaters, hotels, this will keep adding on. This is just an add-on.
Yeah. We have a new guest.
What happened?
Hi.
So she brought a new guest in.
Yeah, this is Uzi. She is the expert. Yep. She's chief administrator of treats in my household. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. Why did you eat? Ugh. The lizard outside. You can go take your death breath over there, my love.
The Geico eater.
The Geico eater. My thing is slow. But yeah, I think honestly, like it sucks, but I think it's going to be kind of a soft reset for this industry. Mm-hmm. And the weak won't survive, but the strong will.
Yes.
And like I said, all of the fans for artist wise, even artists that are, published in their own right and haven't worked for the big companies, they're all, yeah. Yeah, they're hanging out in the
right.
I lost my train of thought. I got distracted by dogs.
Oh, look, squirrel.
It's Sunday. I have no brain in. I've been playing Kingdom Hearts all week. What's that?
Nice.
And
I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer, so trust me, I love it.
Are you on Animal Crossing, by the way?
I can't find a Switch to save my life.
Target. Good luck. Physically go to Target and Walmart. No?
All the big ones, with the handles that you put to your TV, out.
Yep.
And if you go on Amazon,
people are price gouging.
$800 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're price gouging big time.
Oh yeah, because well, Nintendo stopped their production line.
Well, they had to when they shut down the country for a couple of weeks. And now, but here's the thing: like because I work for GameStop still, I work part time there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We found out that a lot of the stuff that's coming in is sitting on cargo ships in quarantine for anywhere between 30 and 60 days. So by the time it gets out of that, then it's got to be transported to a warehouse of ours. Then it's going to sit there for so long before it can get shipped to us.
Yeah,
we're not going to see physical product in our places probably until like June.
Yeah, so if we're GameStop sale and this is all over, everything's going to be like 25-30% off because there's so much excess inventory.
No way.
Where we have nothing. My store is dead, dude. It's like I sat there today, worked this 4-hour shift, 5-hour shifts. Mm-hmm. I had 4 people pick up something. They were like games that I'm like, wow, you really want this game? You are that desperate? Okay, good to know.
I mean,
you want it.
Like, I went out because I needed to get out of the house, and I drove to Starbucks through the drive-thru to get a $5 cup of coffee just because I needed to get out of the house.
Did it take you an hour to get through the drive-thru?
Yeah.
Was it an hour to get through the drive-thru?
No, it was like less than 10 minutes.
For Starbucks, you must have gone off peak. It wasn't morning, it wasn't afternoon, right?
Well, I'm also like in a predominant suburb area.
Okay.
So there's like within a 7-minute drive, I can count 4 Starbucks.
Okay.
Where I am right now, there's only one real major Starbucks that's open in like Cranston, Rhode Island, which is a major city in Rhode Island, and it's one open. There's at least anytime I've driven by it, 20 plus cars sitting in that drive-through.
Oh yeah,
it's
there was a car ahead of me, and then if it was like more than 5 cars, I'd be like, I'll just go put chocolate milk in my coffee, and there's my mocha.
Hershey syrup.
That's right. I'll poor kid this shit.
Hey, you know what? Just get regular coffee, add some Hershey syrup to it, or just go get like regular caramel pack and just put it in. It's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I work at Starbucks. Trust me, we're just feeding crap coffee anyway.
Yeah. Well,
burnt coffee.
Right. Well, I get the peppermint mochas all the time. Well, you know that.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's one of those things where like it was something to do to get out of the house, but I didn't actually want to get out and like expose myself to people, to put it weirdly. So I literally just was in my pajamas and went and drove up. I was like, and the lady, the woman was very nice. She's, all masked up and stuff. She's like, your hair is so pretty. And I'm like, it's not been washed for like 3 days and I forgot to brush it. Right. She goes, well, it still looks great. I'm like, thanks.
How funny is it that you sat there and used the term like I didn't want to expose myself? A year ago, we'd be like, really? You didn't want to expose yourself. Now we're using it. It's a whole different meaning. A whole different meaning now.
Exactly. Well, the world is never going to be the same after this. This is one of those. This is one of those, instances that changes the course of human history. Yeah. The direction we're going in has been like turned all around with the blindfold, and now we're spinning off somewhere else. And who knows where it's going to go.
Think about this, like with our culture and our society, where everyone relies on everything online, everything through cell phones, through computers, things like that. Mm-hmm. And now we're telling them, stay home, don't go near people, don't be social, but keep social distancing. And now, that's what people are doing. We actually, I think, in a way, we're resetting some of these kids too that are in their production stages where they need to be talking to kids and talking to people to basically become a little better adults in a way.
Right, but it's not about social distancing, it's about physically distancing. This is about physical contact. They should have just called it physical contact since day one. Social, this is being social. This is what social media was all about. Yeah. Like calling it social, it's like, great, social distancing. It actually means I can't do this.
The interesting thing, because I live in a development. The interesting thing that I've seen is I take these 2 out in my front yard, and I see more families going for walks, spending actual time off their digital devices and outside, like riding bikes, and more now than I did before this whole thing started. And it's like this whole thing kind of reset the family, like a family dynamic where we're not glued to our fucking phones all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that reason being is because you think about it, like a kid's in school for 6-7 hours a day.
Right.
School bus comes home, does homework, and then what's he doing? He's trying to get a few minutes playing on his phone, talk to a friend, maybe a video, something. And now he's sitting at home and he's like, I can't do this. I need to go out and do something, interact with his mom, his dad, his sister,
Right.
Go for a bike ride, go for a walk. I agree with you there, where they are putting down the tablets per se now and being more social with their family. But that's the only people they can be social with.
All right, so Julian just sent me the article written by 10news.com, which actually said about San Diego Comic-Con being canceled. According to the city, Comic-Con guests generate over 149 million people in the region to impact San Diego, with direct attendees spending a total of about $88 million to about $3 million in hotel sales and tax revenue.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
San Diego, over the week of San Diego Comic-Con is what they make that much the rest of the year.
But that's just one convention. So just imagine the car show that's probably there, the boat show that's probably there. I know I've been to a music convention
thing.
Right.
I think.
There's an anime convention there too now. So just imagine 4 other conventions being held at this location, and meanwhile,
with that same amount of income coming in,
that's a tough loss.
But like what we were saying though, where that guy says that, where he said 30 billion just for Comic-Con, it's not 30 billion. They bring in probably half a bill, probably to $1 billion for that week and a half, maybe 2 weeks or so.
That. I think the highest is $3 billion. But if you look at all the other ones, it's close. It's probably close to more like 10 billion that they're probably going to lose in this year. That's still a lot.
What's that?
And he says,
I lose $10. I'm worried. You lose $10 billion.
Not to mention, you're also looking at what is it? Their taxes like 13% in San Diego.
Yes.
So let me take 15%, and that's tax straight to the government that they're not going to get anymore.
So we're gonna see a huge loss, like a huge loss. Not like we're talking about San Diego, and just imagine this is San Diego holding 150, 200,000 people for their convention. New York's probably going to lose probably a lot more than that, and all of the states trickling down around is probably going to lose in the millions. So
and also think about San Diego is also kind of almost like an industry show in a way, where they showcase movies, TV shows, that stuff. How much does that generate buzz and whatnot for future things and stuff that they're going to be doing for the next 6 months to a year to 2 years?
Right.
That's lost revenue right there, and that's a major hit across the board. It's across the board, and everybody's going to take a big financial hit this year. But in a way, though, I don't want to be a dick or be mean about it, but I'm not trying to say it's not bad, but it's good that some of this stuff is taking a hit, because now you're going to see some prices drop.
Yeah.
Hopefully, for hotels that are over price gouging. I know, I'm with you too. I'm hoping. But think about it. They price gouge for a normal weekend to go somewhere. And people were like, none of them could go. And then you wouldn't buy it until like you found a deal online or something. Maybe now they might be like, oh shit, we need to get people back going. We got to drop our rates for a little bit. And people might book stuff in advance.
Yeah, it's popping that inflation bubble. It's popping that inflation demand bubble. And a lot of, I mean, I think even when Wizard World was charging $250 for a 4-day pass at Wizard World Chicago, in 2014? That was bullshit. I mean, San Diego Comic-Con is 150,000 people. It's a quarter mile long. You've got all of the greatest industry shit there. Names that don't even do anything else go there. And they only now are charging $250 for a 5-day badge that also gets you into a ton of extra stuff.
Right.
So Wizard World charging $250 for their shitty show.
And charging close to $1,000 for their meetings. They're crazy.
And that's just one building. San Diego is like half the city.
It is. Now it is. Yeah. And if you've got a Comic-Con badge, you can get into all of the extra free shit that they do all in the front by the trains now.
I
you
love
get
it.
into the Playboy,
I love what San Diego
party
does.
now. Huh?
Right. I love what San Diego does.
I love it, yeah.
You pay for a pass to get it, and you can walk through the city between every other street and walk into another building, and there's another fan event. There's another event going on over there. When we walked around, we saw a Player One booth set up outside the building. You know, when we watched, was it Vice News with their James Van Der Beek piece? I mean, we make fun of it, but that was one of the instances that happened there. That's why I loved San Diego. And that, yeah, it hurts. It's going to hurt.
See, I'm hoping now, because of all of that stuff dropping, I will be able to afford to make it to one of my bucket list places, which is San Diego Comic-Con.
Well, you can always jump. You know, someone over here down, you know, little lady over here needs a little help sometimes at shows. She'll give you one day off.
I have, I get you an exhibitor badge if you want. I mean, you'd have to pay for it because it's fuck all expensive, but you can at least have an exhibitor badge to wander around.
Oh,
just let me know.
I will take that in consideration.
Yes, you can join me on the floor of the villa.
Hey,
that's one of those shows on my bucket list I want to get to. I got to get to San Diego.
So every year at San Diego, I room with Monty Moore.
That's even crazy. How long? Yeah, someone just said Burning Man charges over $300 per ticket.
Yeah, but
how long does Burning Man last?
Do you know how many free drugs you could get from Burning Man? Like, you snort some coke and take some shrooms, and you've got a deal. Like,
see, this is fan dedication. The fact that Julian's been going since 1992.
I'm not that old.
God bless you.
Not you.
I haven't been going that long. I've been going since 2009.
Yeah, I was it the 1 year I met up with you? Was it 2015, right? I believe 15, 16 was the first time.
Purple hair.
Yeah.
So 14, 15?
14, 15 was the first time I went, and I had to thank the Winter Twins to getting me a couple passes to go.
Yeah.
So
now you've been working at my booth 3 years now, 4.
3 years. This was going to be number 4. So we haven't stopped. I haven't stopped since. It's been a pleasure going to the convention. I mean, going the first time. I think everyone needs to get like that New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con leg in. As an artist myself,
it's insane.
Like, the reason why I love doing this. You know, you have to go. Like, if you're an artist or you're a vendor and you're constantly complaining, I want to be at the show. Go to it.
Yeah.
Go to the show, because guess what? You as an artist might not survive with what you have. You as a vendor might not survive, because there is an actual section in San Diego Comic-Con that gets no one. That actually gets no one. So,
the Artist Alley section you're talking about?
The 100, 200 sections in the very front, like by the gaming and stuff.
Oh, those are vendors.
Empty. Huh?
Those are vendors.
Yeah, I'm talking about the vendors.
Yeah.
But like artists, you have to stay on a very long list, like forever, until someone leaves their
I think it's a 5-year wait list now.
Yeah.
And that's just for a booth. Like I'm not in Artist Alley. I'm in the fantasy art section. Yeah. And I'm right on 2 main aisles. Like I'm on the main middle aisle. Like I will be dead, and that will still be my booth. I will haunt it for the rest of the day.
I will make sure that booth stays. I told you that.
I've had that booth for 10 years now. We've had that booth for over 10 years. But so like the thing that I like about this show is, unless you purchase a booth space, like a vendor booth space, you have to be like, it's a submittal process as an artist. Like you're not juried in, but you're vetted. That's a better word for it. Yeah. You're vetted. And I really like that, because you're only going to get the serious artists that go in, you know, and people that come to that show are still people that want art. I mean, aside from the exclusives, people come to the show to meet their favorite artists. Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, if you're crammed in Artist Alley, you're never going to get seen, because now the spaces for Artist Alley are 3 feet.
Well, you remember when last year where you had the Asian news group that showed up, and they were like all ecstatic to like meet you. They're like, we've been waiting for years. They actually told her right to her face, goes, we never knew where your booth was. until the email. I'm like, wow, really?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
The
I
giant
posted my interview. Oh, I got interviewed by NPR.
Yeah.
Remember that? Were you there that year that I got interviewed? I was ambushed. I had a Me Too. I was ambushed by a Me Too interviewer for NPR. It was the year. It was 20.
It was 2 years ago.
No, Adam was there. So 2018, when the head CEO dude was accused of whatever.
Wait, which Adam? My Adam or your Adam?
Wrestler Adam.
Your Adam. So that's 2 years ago.
And
Harvey Weinstein.
No. The guy from Comic-Con. He's on the board of Comic-Con. He's the host for Walking Dead, Talking Dead.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So it was like 2 days before the show. Apparently, one of his ex-girlfriends stepped up and said all this shit.
It was one of the hosts. It was a staff member.
He was on the Talking Dead, right?
Yeah, but they were. But the woman, like, approached. She was interviewing these cosplayers in front of my booth without my permission. And I made a comment, and I'm like, well, you know what? You just talk to them. You use me as a backdrop. You should interview me. So her first, I'm expecting, we're here at Comic-Con and blah, blah, blah. What do you do as an artist? Nah, 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 nah. Like, the first thing out of her mouth is, so what is it like as a female in the post-Me Too era? And I'm like...
What the you yelled WTF to her, right to her face.
I would have started pulling up some of my artwork and go, so I've got this Batman print that I just did, and I've got this.
I went into who I was. I'm like, well, first off, let me slap my proverbial dick on the table for you, and then I will tell you my views of this.
Right, just drop it right there.
Yeah, the table breaks.
Into that little sit down too.
so she, she's asking me, which, is a valid thing to ask as a female artist in a male-dominated industry. How do I get treated? And I'm like, I'm not a fucking victim. First off, I don't act like the typical cowery girl that sits in the fucking corner. Like, if I have a problem and you're going to insult me, you're probably going to get a punch to the fucking throat. Like, that's the way it is with me. So she was asking me about the gentleman's name. I forgot his name. And this is what you get. Like, when I'm talking, whatever's in my brain pops right out. I have no.
Shut her down. She almost like. Why would you say this?
She was very aggressive and was trying to lead me in the interview to bashing this guy. Now, I never mix my opinions with my business. Whatever's going on over here has nothing to do with my business and my friends, my fans. So I keep them very separate. And she's trying to lead me into bashing the head of the Comic-Con that I'm currently in.
Yep.
And I was like, well, she says, do you believe? Yeah, you do.
I'm down.
Tag me in. I'm from Jersey. You can take the girl out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the girl. I'll just put it right there. So she asked me if I felt it was right for him to step down from his position temporarily to handle the situation.
Oh no, to have a female step in his place. That's what she said.
I don't know. I didn't even half listen to her conversation or question. So I said flat out, I was like, well, the most important, I agree with people standing up for themselves. I think in a lot of instances, the Me Too movement started out in a good place, but like all things, gets perverted and bastardized and then ruined by other people. And now it's a witch hunt. And I flat out said, I'm like, it's a fucking witch hunt. I mean, you've got guys like Henry Cavill or Cavill, however you say that guy's name.
Cavill.
You've got guys like Henry Cavill that are afraid to date because if they screw around with this girl and then decide, no, we're just not right. Now that girl can say, oh my God, he raped me, even though it was consensual, and now he's ostracized. Right. And I said, regardless of what anybody does, we're a country that you are innocent until proven guilty, not guilty simply because you've been accused.
Right.
And that's what this whole social media, social justice warrior bullshit started with. And that's what elevated that whole thing. So I said, do I think that he should have stepped down temporarily? Yeah. If he were accused of murder, it'd be the same thing. He'd have to step down and take care of his shit. And then when he's proven innocent, he can come back. Like, but you've got these guys that they got accused and then they were immediately fired. I mean, look at fucking Johnny Depp. Disney dropped everything with him in it. And guess what? He was the battered victim. But because he was a man and the women at the time could do no wrong, and I tell everybody, I was telling everyone at the time, everybody can be an asshole, men or women. Like, I hate that mentality that it's women against men. Like, it makes no sense. Assholes look like everybody.
Well, people forget that the female musicians from back then, including the 80s, look at the Go-Go's and look at Lita Ford, look at all them. They took advantage of men. You don't see that story, like, jumping up. So when that actually happened, they're like, well, those guys can always go back and be like, well, the lead singer, blah, 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 tied me up because one of them is into S&M, tied me up and did some shit to me. Dude, come on. If a girl did that, no guy's going to admit to it. Come on.
Yeah. Like, then, and a lot of it was also, in terms of, like, that, was, like, they're into some kinky shit, and it got out, and then they weren't man enough or brave enough to admit it, So
I believe Alice Cooper, stick up for who, actually? I believe Alice Cooper did stick up for somebody.
I did Johnny Depp.
No, and was it Alice Cooper or Richards?
No, Alice Cooper stood up for Johnny Depp because they have a band together.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
because they have a band.
And think about, like, Amber Heard did so much stuff to him, and then the whole Me Too movement was pushed around her.
His finger.
Yeah, she hit him with a Jack Daniels bottle, severed his finger off.
Severed his finger.
And he has security cameras and whatnot and stuff like that. And he was like, he was going to take a hit. I think he really was. He was going to be like, you know what? Whatever. But then he started seeing it and how big it was. He was like, you know what? I'm going to release all the footage and the videos and the clippings, and you can really see what a crazy woman she was, and it wasn't me.
Right.
Now, that wasn't right what she did. No, I don't care what you are, man or woman. You hit somebody and you abuse somebody, you deserve an ass whooping. I don't care what sex you are, it does not matter. And she should never work again in Hollywood. She should be arrested. Everything that happened with that should have negative impact on her.
Drop her from Aquaman 2.
There's a petition I think got started.
Yeah.
There's
a petition to have her removed and replaced by another actress.
They should. Yeah. She wasn't even that good.
She was eye candy.
Sorry.
That's about it.
So
is Jason Momoa.
He was.
So is Momoa for you women.
Yeah.
And the men.
I mean.
Yeah. He is a fine specimen of a man.
Yep.
And she was a fine specimen of a woman.
Uh-huh.
They don't need to, they're pretty. They don't need to act well. They just need to look good while they move around and do crazy shit.
Hey, Michael Bay is known for having a pretty girl with no acting skills put on the big screen.
And Megan Fox.
I'm not, you know what? If I'm going to see Aquaman, I'm not going to be culturally enriched like I would go to like Macbeth.
Yeah, right?
You're telling me you're not going to watch Magic Mike again? What?
Magic Mike is awesome. Those dudes move. Like, take out the whole sexy shit, because I dated a male stripper in my early 20s, and I thought that shit was hilarious. The helicopter thing and with the tassel at the end is just not sexy to me. It's like, woo! Like, all right, cool.
You're like, that's cute. Can you move on?
I laughed. Like, I would sit there, and I was the only girlfriend allowed in the strip club because I thought it was fucking hilarious. And the owner liked me laughing at all the dudes. I mean, it's just imagine, like, a dude standing on stage and it, like, woo, like a fucking helicopter.
You know exactly where I'm going with this, Mike. But you know exactly where I'm going with this. But that's a different story and everything else. Yep.
Am I missing?
I know where you're going. I do.
Yep. I mean, there's a website that has a propeller thing.
Propeller dick? Am I the only one cursing tonight? Like,
yep, pretty much.
Oh,
it's okay. It's all right. No one's watching anyway.
No, we've dropped a couple of bombs ourselves.
I'm going to give you guys a list of conventions.
Yeah, let's get back to that stuff. No more helicopter dick.
Right, no more
helicopter dick. Do the helicopter dick. Sorry, I got that song in my head.
Right, and you guys, has another show in mind. Please let me know. I'm going to give you guys a few lists. You let me know if the show's going to happen or not going to happen. Or if it helps, I'll tell you what city as well, too. Still CityCon in Pennsylvania, yes or no?
When?
June 12th to the 14th.
No.
Okay. Wizard World Philly, which is happening June 19th to the 21st. No. All right.
That's still a thing?
Sadly, yes. And this one has a table.
There's no filter for Sammy. None. Like, that's still a thing?
Well, here's the thing. I have no love lost between me and Wizard World because Tommy and I brought the drink and draw. We brought it from 10 drunk fucks to over a 300-person event.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And yeah. And we made it into a serious contest. And because we know all the fucking major artists, you know, they would come. Like, you could sit down and draw next to fucking Michael Golden or Tech Sierra. Tim Vigil participated. Like, huge names. We were doing this event. And then it was we did it, I think 2 or 3 years. And I think our second or third anniversary, a week and a half before, they asked for a write-up for the event and like a synopsis of what we did. And Tommy and I both looked and like, they're going to drop us because over 3 years, they've never asked us for anything. And we weren't asking for money. We were asking for a hotel and 2 Artist Alley tables. That's it.
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So, Tommy wrote up this super convoluted, like how to do it. Cause it was a competition is what we did it. Very fun thing. They dropped us the week before. They said, okay, well, you have to pay for your tables now, at our show. And we're not giving you a hotel. And we're like, okay, cool. Peace out. And then they had some other group do a Friday event. And then like 2 months later, they had some glorified, digital tracer of photographs that did Walking Dead covers do our convoluted event that we wrote out. And they had petitions asking for us to come back. And they treated us like we were nobody and nothing after that. We would try and talk to them and we got snubbed. And it was a huge amount of disrespect. And we're like, okay, peace out. And we were slated to do that in every city of their convention. So Wizard World was run by, I don't know how they are now, but they were run by a bunch of fucking shysters.
Things have changed.
Hit them out.
Yeah, there's no more Wizard World drinking.
There's no love lost between me and Wizard World. Sorry.
It's okay. Connecticon, July 9th to the 12th, in Hartford, Connecticut. Yes or no?
So I know a little bit about the Connecticut. It's still not open yet.
Right.
And I don't know how he is still. The casinos aren't open.
Right.
Connecticon's not open.
Is that in that's in a casino?
That's in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, Connecticon is in the Hartford Convention Center,
right,
which is not open, and they're not going to allow it. And you saw it when we went hash. Connecticon basically is it's a lobby con. It's a straight lobby con, and he calls it a comic con, but it's an anime like cosplay fest. Let's straight up be honest.
Like there's more people in the lobby of the hotels and the convention center than there are in the actual convention center, which is always interesting.
So it's like a mini Dragon Con then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll say. Eternal Con, which is in Long Island, New York, held July 11th to the 12th. I'm saying no.
Is that in a convention center or hotel?
That's at the NASA Coliseum.
Yeah, no, that ain't happening. Honestly, I would say anything that is going to be run in a convention or a similar hall type community center isn't going to happen.
Right.
They're not going to. Well, not only that, but the hall or convention center is not going to staff it.
Right.
Or take the risk.
The high insurance risk that's going to be happening right
now.
now.
No, they're not going to do that.
We're going to say right now, we're going to jump into August. August 7th to the 9th, you have the Boston Fan Expo. We were just discussing that earlier.
That's already been postponed. They have not.
Is the July 31st through that first weekend of August? What?
Who is?
August.
Gen Con.
Oh,
the gaming convention.
Yeah.
The tabletop gaming convention that I do in Minneapolis. But I unless I missed my email over the last couple of days because I was neck deep in, Disney World.
I feel like a lot of shows are going to be that very last second cancellation, the 2 weeks prior or the week of. That's the way I see it. August 14th and the 15th, we're looking at Turficon at the Mohegan Sun. No way. And you said before, casinos are still closed. So
casinos are still closed. And look at, think about this way. The convention center, are they going to take the hit for the cost of cleaning all of these places? Because you got to figure, you have to clean the daylights out of that every single night.
And that's a different hall altogether. So they can actually not use they don't actually have to use the casino. They can get the side entrance, but that's if they agree to just allow the parking and figure out a line to get people in.
Yep.
So that's another hard thing. I mean, kudos to Turficon if they can pull something off like that. Kudos to them. August 28th to the 30th, Keystone Comic-Con in Philadelphia. I mean, this is literally a month, 2 months after, or a month after June into August, going right to Philly.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. You get near the end of August, September. That's where I think it's almost like we're holding hope that shows will go on.
Right. We're looking at the August into September. Now going to September 3rd to the 7th, we have Dragon Con in Atlanta, Georgia. We're saying, it looks like a yes, but there's a huge possible no.
Well, it's a no right now because and it depends on at this point because the federal government has nothing to do with these social restrictions anymore. Mm-hmm. He's lifted everything, and now it's based on the governors and then the counties. So if the governor says you do whatever the fuck you want, now the mayor and the council, city councils are now the ones in charge. Like for Orlando,
right?
I mean, Orlando went on lockdown before the state did, like a week before the state did. So I think a lot of it is going to depend on these specific counties and cities allowing the permits to go through for these events. And if they deem it acceptable, and quite honestly, I honestly am not expecting a show to go on until maybe, October, November at the earliest. And that depends on, I think I'm doing Baltimore. Is it October again this year?
Right. The Baltimore show. We'll get to Baltimore in a minute. It's coming up.
No, but I'm just saying, honestly, I don't even think the Great Philly show is going to happen in September.
Well, great, yeah, because if Pennsylvania won't have a show at all, if Pennsylvania, let alone the Philadelphia Convention Center, if they don't have a show, what makes anyone think even Great Philadelphia in September is going to have it?
And they brought in a shit ton of people last year.
Well, they always bring a shit ton. That's a whole different story as well too. September 19th to 20th, the Harrisburg, the Four States Comic-Con in Harrisburg, PA. That's it. If maybe, then you do have the New Jersey HorrorCon, which is held at the Showboat Casino in Atlantic City, which is October 6th to 7th.
That building should be burned down and razzed. I don't know how it's still. I don't know how it's fucking standing. Sorry. Dude, every single time I go in there, I'm surprised. You saw it yourself too when you guys decided to have a possible show there last year. How it's still standing. I'm still in awe of the fact that the House of Blues never gets used. I mean, when you go in there and you see that rich history of the House of Blues, I'm still in shock that the venue isn't being used. Go ahead. Dude, you don't understand. Me and a couple of people, when we went down there to look at that venue, I looked at that House of Blues and I looked at so much stuff in that building and I was like, oh my God, I could put on such something in these rooms,
Right.
it would be absolutely insane. And we wanted to, and there was such high hopes for it, but
something just didn't work right.
No, well, the whole building didn't work right. I don't know how things go on there. I really don't.
I
Is
know.
it like a logistic thing that prevented it?
No, the building's a shithole.
Oh,
That's
fair.
why.
Okay, yeah, I've never been. So
So the Showboat Casino in Atlantic City is no longer a casino. So the whole entire first floor into the second floor is just empty. I mean, the old restaurants are empty. The food court itself
that's
empty.
weird.
Above it is the House of Blues that has this amazing, like Indian architecture, like type of thing, and it's very cool, interesting. But it has like that distinct old smell as well too, which Mike can actually.
The old cigarette and gambler
Oh
stand.
God, yeah.
Yes.
But then you're on that bottom floor when you first walk in, and where their main desk is. That was going to be their convention floor. That's where they want to have the convention. They have not updated anything in 10 plus years in that building.
Mhm.
The lighting, the walls, the rug, it's something out of a horror.
There's usually one broken elevator.
So they didn't do any like real.
No.
Because I mean, when did Sandy blow through there?
Years
Within the last 10 years, right?
Sandy. This was closed before Sandy. This was turned into a hotel before Sandy.
Yeah, but I mean, when Sandy hit, they didn't do shit
No, they didn't.
with it.
No.
Ugh.
No. And you walk around in there, and the rug, it has that like musty odor.
The rug was changed last year, actually. The rug was changed last year. When you guys came in, before like there was the horror show, the whole entire carpeting, the floor was changed. And
when did they change the carpeting in that place?
After you guys met up, after you guys went there, they had changed the carpeting and put up walls.
No, because we went there in December of 2018. We were supposed to put a show on there in June. As April came around, they still had not changed any of the rugs. They still had all of the casino lighting up, all the casino crap things up. They had done nothing.
Well, in the back stuff, those casino lights,
Yeah. Not a good look.
Yeah.
Yep.
But a horror convention went on there, and it did okay.
Well,
and they were like, "Yeah, we did." They were like, "We did okay. We had like 1,000 people." I was like, "Okay."
I spent the rest of my time at the Hard Rock doing something else. We'll talk save it for another story. All right, jumping into October 2nd to the 4th, the Bangor, Maine Comic-Con and Toy Show. Now, this was moved from the April.
That I could see going on because of where it's at.
Okay.
It's a very isolated area. Maine hasn't had a lot of, hits on COVID. I think that is something because it's a small show. Mm-hmm. It doesn't get more than maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500 people. Right. It's a small enough show. I think that could be something that could go on.
Okay. We all know October 8th, the start of New York Comic-Con. That's a no, not happening at all. Sorry for anyone who's excited for it. October 11th to the 14th, this is now the Ace Comic-Con happening in Chicago, in the Rosemont, Chicago area. Now, this was Boston Ace moved to the second show as Chicago.
So Ace has one in Boston and now in Chicago?
The Boston one canceled. Anyone who was part of the show got put on to the Ace Chicago show now.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't see, if they go on, they could probably put the show on, but there's no way in hell they're going to get the celebrities that they had for Boston, because all those celebs are filming.
But
they're gone.
Big enough to isolate people in and around, like do like a little loop-de-loop. That's 3 floors, 2 or 3 floors. Technically, it's got 3 rooms, 3 large rooms, so I can see a zigzag isolation. You go in, you go out, up and down, blah, 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 blah. So that's
but he's losing all those celebs.
Yeah, but you're losing less. I'm jumping on, maybe throw a little anime in here. October 19th to the 20th, the Derpy Comic-Con in New Jersey. Jersey says they're closed until Labor Day as well, too.
That's not going to happen then.
Then we don't see that happening.
No way.
As Sam and I were talking, or Sam had just mentioned, Baltimore Comic-Con, they said no a little while ago, but this is for October 23rd to the 25th.
So Baltimore canceled?
Baltimore originally canceled, then they put it back on the agenda with the states. Prior to all the states reopening, they had canceled the show. Okay. Now Baltimore said that they're still going to hold on to their show because of what their current date is.
Yeah. And they're going to probably, if they're going to cancel, they're probably going to cancel it closer to the actual date.
Closer to the date.
I'd say 2 months beforehand would be the smart point.
Yeah, that's usually what people are doing. I mean, I know that's San Diego just did it 3 months, almost 3 months out. So,
right. Bye, Julian. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now to Mike, your show, November 6th to the 8th. That would be your Rhode Island Comic Con.
We are still hoping to put it on.
Right.
It's still on the dockets. We haven't heard otherwise.
Right.
Still on the dockets. That's the best I can tell you.
And then you have November 21st to 22nd, Saratoga Springs, New York. Me as a New Yorker.
That's another one I think could go on because it's a small show.
Right.
They don't get more than 400 or 500
right?
people.
Right. It's upstate.
It's not.
Yep.
Because most of the cases are, in the 5 boroughs.
In the major cities. So this is like another one where it's in a smaller convention area, smaller town.
People are going to feel safer at the smaller shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Saratoga is kind of like more of a small. You remember like Super Mega Fest, right?
Yep.
Kind of like think that where you barely get 400 or 500 people, but it's like the whole city goes to it.
Yeah.
So I see that possibly going on because he doesn't try to go full blown like let me take over the whole town,
right?
But he takes over like a nice little venue and he puts on a decent little show. I can see something like that going on. It's a small show.
And if there's a December show, we hear a lot of shows moving from the April, May, and June to move to December. If I've missed one, write about it. Let us know. Hopefully, there's still a December show happening for a lot of people.
Jekyll Island Comic Con.
What is it?
Jekyll Island's Comic Con.
Jekyll Island.
Jekyll Island, Georgia. I do it every year. It's a really small show, but it's awesome.
Well, there's also HazardCon in South Carolina. HazardCon. I think it's in.
Well, you still got Denver Comic Con is the weekend of Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
That's there. And
holiday conventions never worked out. Even during this, you might as well just throw that away. I'm sorry to be the bad guy, but holiday conventions, anything based on Mother's Day, holidays, major holidays, I don't know how anyone says 4th of July weekend is such a great day for a convention. Look, 4th of July, get me barbecue and get me a beer. I don't want to go near anyone, man. I want fireworks. I want to hook up with a nice girl. I don't want to go to a convention.
No,
I see that one, Arash.
Yeah.
And not only that, you think around 4th of July, a lot of families, like celeb-wise, they're traveling.
Right.
And a lot of families are traveling to be with their friends and families during 4th of July. They're not wanting to go to a convention.
Right.
And it's freaking 100+ degrees out half the time. Like, come on.
Yeah, I know.
I never do conventions on holiday. If I'm Ben. I mean, the last show that I did on a holiday was that's a good question. I think Easter? Like what was it? Great Philly was on Easter.
Mother's Day. There was the Mother's Day Easter shenanigans.
It was like Easter. And it sucked.
Oh yeah, we were there for that. We hung out. And the promoter was complaining, it was Mother's Day weekend and something else. And I looked at him going,
that was Easter. It wasn't Mother's Day because it was in April. So it was before.
Right. But I still looked at him. I was like, I have a family. What family wants to go to there's very few. If you can get the whole family together in the house, they're gonna stay home.
You need a bunch of pagans and heathens to go to those shows.
Right.
At that point.
Though that Anime Boston does their show every year on Easter.
Mm-hmm.
And they do good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They get a lot of fans in that building down there in downtown Boston.
I think it's all over the area. Like I think holiday shows, like that's not holiday shows, but like Easter, I think does better in more city settings than middle of Pennsylvania.
Away from the city. Like you're away from the city.
Yeah. I mean, because you're not gonna people that are non-denominational and don't believe in Jesus or Christianity or anything like that, they're more likely to go to a show because they don't fucking care about Easter. So
have you seen some of the stuff at Anime Boston? Trust me, they weren't caring about Jesus either. I said holy Jesus a lot of times walking some.
He was Jewish, and he hung out with all the prostitutes and thieves and drunks. Jesus was hip for his jive, man. He wouldn't have liked the crazy old white people.
Right. Amanda says, "Where's Uzi?"
Oh, she's behind me. There she is.
Out cold.
So Lauren had to Lauren said one more time as you guys were talking, though, and said the New York governor is hoping to open certain sections of New York State sooner than having that many deaths cases in a while. It still doesn't matter. Even if the governor reopens the state, the next part comes into our legislative electors, which goes down to the mayors, and it goes down to the police commissioner. If the mayor goes and says everything's open, the police commissioner can veto it and go and say because of public safety, that's not going to happen. Remember, we have to wait till the malls reopen and the theaters reopen for it to be in full progress. And that's going to take a few months. You know,
not only that, even if they do open fully, the people are going to make their decision. Do they want to go out or not?
Right.
Some are probably not going to in New York because of how heavily hit New York is.
And
they're going to stay home.
Well, people forget there is no international flights right now. There are none. You can fly from New York to California, from New York to Florida, wherever you want to go. You can take a flight within the U.S. You cannot fly out of the country right now.
Actually, that's not true. You can fly out of the country if you are a permanent resident of that country or you have family in that country.
Right. But for tourism,
there is none.
There is none.
No. Well, because Ben had to cancel his flight to come out, coming out here.
And going back to New York and San Diego, and especially Rhode Island, we see a lot of people out of the country. Oh, it's my first time here. I'm from Germany. I'm from we get Australia, we get England, we get German, France, Italian. So it's always like a big deal that these international flights have to happen. So
but we're gonna honestly, when it comes to that, regardless of how long it takes, we're going to end up opening our borders before anyone else because we're the U.S., of course.
Yeah, we gotta open up our borders.
So we're gonna have less for travel. We're gonna open our borders faster than most other countries.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully I'll get married next year instead. Otherwise, I'm smuggling his ass over here.
We'll put him in the luggage, just throw him in. Hopefully he makes it through.
I told him, you can just fly here, and then just stay. Don't go back.
He could do that. I mean, they're not going to stop him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a comment I could put there, but I won't. I will censor myself this one time.
TSA's gonna ask Sammy, why's your luggage moving? Don't worry about it. Just be quiet. Stop wiggling.
There's a live anaconda in there. You can't have animals in there.
Well, I mean, I don't be happy that you said that.
Who let these motherfucking snakes on his motherfucking plane?
Right. There you go.
All right, we've taken as much time as possible. Mike, Sammy, final thoughts. Go.
On what?
What you think how the rest of the year is gonna look like into next year? We'll start with Sammy. Ladies first.
All right. In terms of conventions, I think we're pretty much not going to get a good turnout if they're even held. Probably until end of this year, like late October, November, December.
Right.
And then I don't think it's really going to normalize until spring of next year, when the main convention season starts again. And I think we're going to see a lot of these little mom and pop onesie twosie shows that only have enough money to make it to the next show are gonna thin the herd. Like I think the Comic-Con culling is gonna happen this year, which in the long run will be a good thing. You like that? I call it a culling.
So Thanos was right.
Yeah. I slap that shit all the time at conventions. Yeah, and I think the same thing's going to happen with vendors and artists as well. People that don't want to either people that can't risk it, don't want to risk it, or don't have enough money. They were literally bouncing from one show to another. They're going to be gone too.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see it step back for at least a while.
Right.
While they catch up with filming, I think you're going to see it step back to the Comic-Cons of yore, where you're not going for celebrities.
Right.
You know, you're going for artists and, you know, exclusive swag that you can only get at a Comic-Con, which for me is good.
Right.
You know, I mean, the celebrities take money out of my pocket more than anything over the last 10 years. So I'm okay with, you know, I'll be the name again.
Right.
Michael can take it.
Michael, you being in the scene just as much as us, thoughts?
I kind of, you know, agree with Sammy on a lot of stuff. I think we are seeing a culling per se. Sorry, I'm using your trademark. I do think we will be seeing a culling of a lot of shows, smaller shows that might not be able to compete. I even think you might look at some of the larger shows that might take a look at some places and look at whether it's feasible to put a show on in certain areas.
Right.
You know, because they might look at that and like, is this area a viable option? And they're probably going to start looking at some of their places, and they might shut some of the bigger shows that don't do well in certain areas, or it's not feasible money-wise or something. I agree with her on the celebs. I think we're going to see a step back on a lot of the A-listers and a lot of the B-listers. You're not going to get a ton of them at shows because they're going to be filming. They're probably going to have clauses in their contracts. Disney is not going to let anybody out that's on Loki, She-Hulk, Moon Knight, any of that stuff, not even probably for press things, because they don't want to push anything back. Mandalorian, Star Wars, they're not touching that stuff. Like things like that, you're going to see they're going to hold back. I do agree where we're going to see a culling, I think, of artists and certain vendors, whether they probably sold off their inventory now to pay for their bills, and they're probably not going to have the money to catch up. So maybe they take a year off or so to rebuild their inventory or rebuild their model, because they might have to. I do agree we'll see more artists that will be more prominent at shows, which I think is a great thing, because I love looking at artists. I love going to get some sketches, getting some custom artwork or something along those lines. I buy more artwork.
I'm just saying.
Huh?
You don't have a Castillo. I'm just saying.
I don't believe I do. No, I don't. I'm going to have to correct that. I will. But I think you're going to see a lot of that stuff like that. I think we're going to see a step back on the way autograph processes are done, the way photo ops are done. We are going to see a step back on that all the way around. And I think it's going to be an industry changer per se. How are they going to adjust it? And I do think we're probably not seeing a show until like October, November, December of this year, and not back into full swing probably till spring of next year. I agree with her.
Well, I want to say thank you to both of you for joining in this like lovely little strange panel. This was Comic-Con as of now. Well, you know, hopefully things will change. Hopefully some of us are wrong. Ben finally happened to come online right now. Sammy will tell you the whole entire thing, or if you feel like sitting down through 2 hours of this, please be my guest.
You can hear me curse a lot and say a lot of inappropriate things.
Yes, a lot of snake
She
jokes.
was very ladylike. She was very ladylike. Don't listen to her.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Right.
That whole ladylike thing is a bunch of bullshit.
Well, you were Jersey ladylike, so you know.
Yeah, I was Italian Jersey ladylike. Let's just not mince words.
So basically, want to say I hope we're all wrong. I hope things happen. We all hope that this gets bitten in the butt, that life goes back to normal. But yet again, this is possibly going to be the new norm, and I hope a lot of people can transition into this little new phase. And guess what? It's not just the three of us. There's going to be all of us who have to go through this ordeal as well, too. So I guess please be calm, have a little fun. And, you know, if you're an artist, create some art. And if you're not, create a little ruckus. Have some fun.
Create art even if you're not an artist. Create
art if you're not even an artist. Well, Sammy, let everyone know where we can find you.
You can find me at, if I'm live streaming, I usually live stream Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. Castillo Studios is my channel, so twitch.tv. And then on Facebook, I'm TS Castillo Studios. Instagram is TS Castillo Studios. And then my awesome new website is castillostudios.ninja.
There you go. And Mike, where can we find you?
On his couch.
Yeah, basically, yes. That's about it.
Or GameStop.
I don't have any fancy websites or anything like that. Just Michael Berge on Facebook.
And
Look me up. I'm always willing to chat about cons, conventions, nerd stuff, whatever. I enjoy this stuff. I enjoy doing this with you guys. What?
Classy Joycey. Yeah, that's why I'm marrying him. He doesn't let me get away with anything.
Well, my name is Hash. Thank you all. Find us, and this will be to be continued. Hopefully, next time I come around, we'll do an artist spotlight on Sammy. Michael will always be part of the next convention. And if you are a vendor, let me know as well, too. We're soon going to be putting vendors up because guess what? We're all in this together, and stores got to make some money as well, too. So, guys, we'll see you all very soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys.